When you think about Bitcoin, let's start there. Where do you think Bitcoin goes from a price standpoint this year? Are you a believer in this like super cycle theory? Are you more a believer that, we kind of just go sideways? How do you think about Bitcoin through the end of the year?
Well, I just said it's almost pointless to have a 3 to 4 month view, but I know that's what, sort of people look at it. Look, I was in the hedge fund business and I had marks every day and every week and liquidity every month. I mean, I lived that for, 25 years, as you said. I just think that, this is an asset that's returned 250% annualized over the last 11 years. It's the greatest return of any asset in the history of the world. I mean, probably going back to caveman times. So I don't think, I really am a hodler. I don't think you mess around with that. I always thought, and I've said probably even a year ago, I think that we're going to get to around $1 trillion market valuation, and then we would consolidate. And that's sort of what we've done. I mean, in my worldview, 40,000 Bitcoin, 50,000, 60,000 is all basically around the same price. I think we could still get to 100 by the end of the year. We might need some macro things to happen. I think that's more likely sort of within 6 to 12 months. But, and I think I've said this on our last interview, and even 2 years ago, that 3, 4, 500,000, which would put the market value at, call it, $5, $6 trillion. That was the first stop for me. And I just simply, I've talked about this a lot, but it just, in my mind, I think, okay, Bitcoin, the most decentralized, most secure network in the history of the world, the potential sort of value protocol for the entire internet, okay? And it's worth $1 trillion, which is roughly half of Amazon, which is just one company. So to me, I look and I think, how much would it cost even a company to try to build the Bitcoin network from scratch? I mean, it's trillions and trillions of dollars. So, $5 trillion market value is a comfortable estimate that I am very comfortable with. In fact, we called the fund 10T. Now, 10T stands for 10 trillion. And what is that? Well, the market value, okay, when we started thinking about this idea in 19 and 20, I said the value of Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the cryptocurrency, and all the equity in the space, okay, was around 300 billion. And I said, well, I think we can go from 300 billion to 10 trillion in 10 years. And so that's sort of our mantra, 10T in 10 years. But the problem is we're at 3 trillion now. So we're a chip shot away from 10 trillion in 10 years. I mean, we just launched really in January, and we're already at 3T. So, the biggest mistake I've made with all of this, I've underestimated the exponentiality of the growth in the space. It's sort of not anything that the mind can comprehend. And last thing I'd say on this, though, is that I was just looking at the teaser for the fund that we wrote a year ago. There were 20 businesses that we identified with over $1 billion market valuation. Today, there are 70. Just think about that. 70 businesses.
It's crazy to see that type of growth.
There's a lot to do in this space, and I presume I'll have, there'll be other people getting involved. I mean, soon.
When you think about the businesses, is it fair to say that your investment strategy is essentially to invest in the infrastructure, and then you're benefiting from like the overall industry growth and the kind of that index approach? Is you're basically betting, hey, the industry is going to be much larger, hundreds of percent larger in the future, and you want to bet on businesses that are going to win as long as the industry grows. Is that kind of a fair characterization?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I think, we want to pay a reasonable multiple of revenue and earnings as well. I don't think there's a company that we paid more than 10 times revenue for. There are so many opportunities out there. We're very active in the secondary market as well. We speak to companies directly. I'm not really willing to pay 25 or 30 times revenue And there are great companies that we've just passed on that will grow a lot just because, we don't have to buy everything. There are lots of great companies, but I would say these are companies that we think are core to the ecosystem. And, the approach really was, it's a $300 billion in, late 1920, $300 billion world. And we think it's going to 10 trillion. And so that's 30X. And if it goes 30X, if we have a basket portfolio diversified nicely of, sort of broadly what you're calling picks and shovels businesses that are constructing, the rails of this new digital asset ecosystem, the odds are the portfolio is going to go up. And we don't need a 30X to be happy. But we actually put that 10T, obviously, we're putting our we're eating our own cooking on this one. I mean, I put it in the title of the fund. So, a portfolio, I think broadly is going to have such wind at its back that it should do well. And again, you can see from the names that we purchased that, it is diversified into those buckets. And then these businesses broadly do different types of things. So.
What's up, guys? Bang, bang. Thanks so much for watching the Best Business Show today. If we're going to be the best business show, we obviously need the best partner. That's why the exclusive sponsor of the Best Business Show is SoFi. They're an all-in-one platform that allows you to invest in all kinds of different assets, including stocks, ETFs, crypto, IPOs, and they even have an automated investing function, if that's your thing. So before we start getting after it again, make sure that you go download SoFi, you get an invest account, and when you make your first crypto trade, regardless of what you buy, they'll give you $10 in Bitcoin for free. It's that simple. Head on over to SoFi.com/pomp to get started today. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you come back and watch more of the Best Business Show tomorrow.